Hands pulled up.
Geez, your pockets are pretty full. What have you been up to tonight, Rosie?
Third quarter underway here. And well done by Crowley. Inventively kicks towards Barlow. Pressure from Suckling. And, gee, conditions are going to be tough. Bailey did well to get boot to ball. Sewell. Now he gathers. Handball not great. Suckling with an opportunity, though. Pulled from it. Puopolo. Shields. Lewis. In fact, that could be out on the full. In fact, it is. So a free kick to the Dockers just backward of the wing.
Franklin stands the mark. Hill has the football.
And Pavlich starting in the forward line as he did in the first quarter.
Birchall just throws it on the boot. Dockers had the numbers back here, and threading his way through is Ibbotson. Socket off the ground by Lewis. So here's an opportunity for Franklin. He's in perfect position here, Franklin. Hale kicks. Franklin will run onto it. Might go all the way. Franklin, no, couldn't get there. So only a point for the Hawks.
Gee, Michael Osborne has taken a couple of reflex catches when the ball's being kicked into his midriff.
Good pressure there from Silvani.
What I've noticed with Fremantle, we saw Ibbotson there off half back. He could have ran, he could have carried, but they're just slamming the ball on the boot. And that is the pressure that Hawthorn's put on them tonight. They need to take the game on, link up with handball a lot more.
Mzungu gains only a couple of metres, kicks towards Clark. Desperate spoiling attempt. Rewarded there by Lewis, and we'll get the ball thrown in at half forward for the Hawks. 42 points. Chance for McPhee. Barlow. Now Broughton towards the wing. Main. Well done. Almost found the footy. Valentine just missed. Birchall. Back towards Clark. Front and centre. Chance for Hill. He can't control it. Grover's handball not great. Taken by Bailey. McPhee hasn't had the greatest of nights in game 200. Fife. Broughton. Loops the handball for easily done by Sewell, just knocking it over. So a boundary throw in half forward again for the Hawks.
The Fremantle forwards would just be desperate for an opportunity. They were starved of it. It was 2 goals apiece in that second quarter. But as we said, 21 inside 50s to 4. Matthew Pavlich just started forward, but they just can't get the ball down to him.
And Alistair Clarkson happy to have big fellas in that forward 50. David Hale down in the goal square, and Buddy Franklin just in front of him.
The umpire's just having a conference to see if it was out on the full. Throw it in is the call. Just outside Hawthorn's 50. Clark against Bailey. Got Ellis looming for the third man up. Grover stops him from going up. Bailey gets the tap. Fife fed it out to Clark. Fife has another crack. Mzungu has the fresh air shot. Picked up by Sewell. Kicks towards goal. It's across the face, and we'll have a throw in.
Unbelievable forward pressure and midfield pressure from Hawthorn. We've spoken about Freo not running, but Hawthorn haven't allowed them, and the ball just continues to stay in their forward half.
Clark, third man up, wins it to McPhee, who clears the immediate area, but taken by Puopolo. Oh, gee, took a long time to get rid of it. Guerra's kick smothered, and a boundary throw in 40 metres around from the Hawthorn goal.
Jack Anthony coming off just the one touch for the game.
And that happened in the opening seconds, Rob. Been a tough night for forwards, no doubt about that. Crowley. And Mitchell taking it over, so another throw in.
Just need a spark. You just wonder where it's going to come from with Fremantle. And we look to Fife and Hill a lot. We look to Pavlich. Needs to be someone else. Cannot rely on those 3 players. They really missed Sandylands Monday, but it's got to be someone else who can step up tonight. Could it be a Main or a Ballantyne?
That's out in the full by Broughton, so Hawthorn free kick, and he's within range, Brad Sewell. Similar territory, in fact a bit closer in from where Crowley kicked his goal. Not the longest kick in the Hawthorn team.
Really sloppy there from Broughton. Just threw the ball on the boot.
Brad Sewell doesn't kick many goals. He's only got 20 in his 138-game career.
Did you send a signed copy of your book, Matty, to Brad Sewell?
I haven't, but he did play a part in it, so I should have.
Sewell, across the face. Here's Barlow. Kick smothered. Rioli. Beautiful pick-up in the conditions. Back to another man with great skills in Burgoyne. Throws it on the left boot. Into the goal square. Hale just couldn't quite take the mark. A rush behind. So again, Hawthorn dominate this game inside their own attacking 50. But Freo managed to hold them to just 2 goals in that second quarter. They kicked 2 late goals themselves.
So Grover now clears the defensive 50 in search of Broughton. Numbers get a free kick, Broughton, for a high infringement.
He deserved that one. Fremantle just played on from 17% of marks in that first half, whereas Hawthorn were up around the 40% mark. So haven't seen them take the game on since half-time. I know it's tough conditions, but you've got to run, you've got to link up and throw something different at Hawthorn.
That rain just continues to pelt down as he kicks to the wing. Palmer wide. Ball held up, so a bounce the attacking side of the wing for the Dockers.
Now there's a shot of Sam Mitchell. Is it true, Matty, that he was the one you were after when you came off the line in that game against the Hawks and you got Sewell instead?
That may be correct, yes.
So what happened?
I didn't expect us to win the stoppage and Brad Sewell come running, whereas I was expecting Sam Mitchell to win the stoppage and lay a big tackle on him. But the ball dribbled my way and Sewell just happened to be running in my direction.
Sewell on cue, kicks towards half forward. Now, well done by Everton, a little toe poke forward. Gee, the conditions are tough. Well, great pick up from Smith. Ball was touched. Osborne, Franklin, quick a goal here. Oh no, he took it a little casually and had so much time just to even straighten up and kick the goal from less than 15, but behind only.
3 posters to the Hawks tonight. Let's go down to Tim Gossage.
I think there's some serious concern on the left knee of Matt de Boer. Both doctors talking. I reckon they might be activating the sub Clancy Pearce. Doesn't look good. They've worked on his knee. There's faces of disappointment. Both doctors working on the outside of his left knee. Could be done for a while in a couple of weeks. Big blow.
The rain stopped, Tim, looks like it.
Yeah, it's fine, Quarters.
How are the dams over here in
dams
Perth?
are brilliant today, Quarters. Fantastic. We needed it. Shoes are wet.
Lewis tapped it in the Mitchell direction.
Again, 3rd man up. They do it all the time, the Hawks.
Kicks to the hot spot. Silvani playing in front of Franklin. Takes the mark.
Off to Lower. Oh, an ordinary kick straight to Hale from 30 metres. He kicks a goal. Shocking mistake. Two goals for David Hale, and Mark Harvey, well, the frustration's been beaten out of him. And a poor kick from Lower. Almost stubbed his toe. And David Hale, as we look at the substitute being activated.
Clancy Pearce coming onto the ground. He's the sub. He has been activated, and this is the reason why. Left knee of Ballantyne falling into de Boer. He played on for a few brief moments, but he's now off the ground outside of the left knee. Looks like an injury that could keep him out for a couple of weeks.
Shields gets the clearance. White cross off to Suckling, who kicks the half forward mark taken by Franklin. Too far out to score. He's got a short on. It's touched. All touched off the boot.
Kicking efficiency, Hawthorn this quarter 72%, Fremantle 54%, and as a result, and the clearances, as Quarters just said, another one from Shields, it's 92% in the forward half for Hawthorn once again this quarter, just 8% for the Fremantle Dockers.
Hale got caught high and gets a free kick. And he can go back and kick his 3rd goal for the evening, which is a great haul in these conditions for a big man.
And you'd be bitterly disappointed if you're a Fremantle defender tonight. and a forward, because the midfielders let them down. 41 inside 50s to 14, so the back line's been under siege and the forward line has had no opportunities.
Crude tackle.
It was. And
you've got to be thinking, these conditions, it's so easy to have players slip under you. You've got to be careful in the tackle. It's no good saying, well, I've tackled, don't blame me. You've got to be effective with the tackle.
Free kicks 19-12 in Fremantle's favour. Hale for his third. There's a replay.
Particularly, Rob, when the player puts his head down, you've just got to be really careful with the way you approach the contest.
Yeah, absolute crude tackle.
Mark Harvey, it's hard to know what to do. Pavlich is now back into the midfield, but he's tried him forward for 65% to try and find a goal, but because they can't get the footy down there, he's had to throw him back into the midfield. So Mark Harvey lost for answers for what to do with his skipper at the moment.
Mitchell to Bailey, and a good mark taken by Ibbotson. Hit the ground running. Well done. Good mark taken by Palmer, and he's rolled his right ankle and looks to be in some trouble.
They're in trouble here because Chris Mayne is really struggling with his neck, and he's gone down. They've already activated the sub. They're going to play too short.
So the kick to Mzungu, taken there by Smith. Off to Shields. No one inside the attacking 50 for the moment for Hawthorn. Now Robert will be first to get back. Osman chasing hard. He got boot to ball, lower, trying to tap it to Broughton, but good work from Brust getting there and forcing it over for a boundary throw-in.
So here's the Palmer incident.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's still down, and they're going to carry him off.
Oh, you see the ankle roll.
Deep inside Hawthorn's 50. Clearing kick was by Pavlich. Back of the pack waiting is Gibson. Good effort by Johnson to force the contest. Now Fife. Scrubby old kick back into the middle. Picked up by Puopolo. Good handball to Cheney. Cheney goes the long option. Mitchell has it knocked away. Osborne's there. Mitchell overran it. Picked up by Lewis. Found some space. Fired out the handball. Here's Brust. And he kicks a point. Nasty, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Right ankle.
So almost from the ground now. So playing for a man, with a man down at the moment, the Dockers. Oh, another poor kick in from Ibbotson. And the mark's taken by Brust. And he'll kick from just inside 50. And there's Reece Palmer, the right ankle.
Real nothing kick in this one, just off the back foot, and had no depth in the kick, and so easy to read there from Ibbotson.
So Brust with an opportunity. Has one goal won this evening, and just offline, missing to the near side.
What a night for Mark Harvey. Just nothing has gone right for him. Dockers bring it back in. Here's Pavlich. Clever little chip kick. Pearce can't take the mark. Well done, Gibson. Handball by Puopolo back to Gibson. To half forward. Mark taken by Broughton.
Devastated Reece Palmer quarters. Absolutely
He's
devastated.
had a bad run for a couple of years, hasn't he, Tim?
Yeah, look, he's really struggling with all of this. He's fought so hard to get back in this team. It's really been a long couple of years for him, and he's absolutely rocked to the socks here with this injury.
Man who won the 2008 Rising Star Award, just pipped Cyril Rioli for that honour. And since then, really not much has gone right, unfortunately.
And that's a damning stat.
After the domination in the second quarter, Fremantle still to get it in there, forward 50. Barlow, Pearce, Hyder half forward. Fisted away now. Mayne, here's an opportunity. You've got Mzungu and Mayne. Most both look at each other. Hands and knees. The handball. Johnson, kick ineffective. McPhee Ripped off it by Burgoyne, who did brilliantly. Broughton, great courage, running back with the flight. And we'll take it just back into the centre circle. Been one of their best, Greg Broughton, this evening. Over to Silvani, who's been in their best 3. Or Mzungu, that's a good mark. Oh, so we don't know about the handball. Put Grover under the pump, and we'll get a boundary throw in the attacking side of the wing for the Dockers.
Both blokes looking to shepherd, and that's the confidence that Freo have played with tonight. None of them wanted to headhunt and go after the ball.
Knocked out by Shields. Bailey, a little soccer. Main overran it. Nice pick up by Lower. Kicks Fremantle inside 50. Anthony, no free kick. Pearce got the handball out to Ballantyne. Kick round the corner's a beauty. And he finds Barlow, who can line up for goal from only 35 metres out on a slight angle.
Michael Barlow, he's had 18 disposals tonight, just found space really well. It's something he's done so well early in his career. Runs forward, knows the right time to do it, and they desperately need this to go through.
Playing his 4th game this season. He's kicked a goal this year. 16 in his short career total. Misses that one. 2 behinds tonight to Michael Barlow. The margin is 57 points in favour of the Hawks.
So Guerra now gains a few metres and drives it towards Hale. Hale ended up with it, but now he's got a problem. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. There you go.
He cannot move, Reece Palmer. They're looking to try to get a moon boot or crutches outside of the right ankle they're looking at. It might just be more than a sprain, let me tell you.
Oh, gee, that'd be terrible news. McPhee, Crowley. Another forward entry for the Dockers. Main, got to beat a couple. Gibson's fist. Anthony. Gibson does well. Got it to Burgoyne. Dubious looking handball, but he got away with it. Smith barrels it back to the wing, and Ibbotson dropping back. So, for a rare moment in the match, the Dockers in control, but Ibbotson coughs it up. Now, he's caught to play on Franklin. Crowley can't hear the call. Mitchell keeps his composure for the moment, but kick poor. Ibbotson, Pearce, Rioli, little toe poke, and again standing in the way though Silvani, and he coughs it up again straight to David Hale. Back to you, Goss.
Don't want to harp on it, but he's in tears, Reece Palmer. He realises this could be season over, and who knows, he may not never play for the Dockers again. There was all talk about him going to the GWS, but he was just trying to be in this team at the right time of the year, but he is very emotional down here with this injury.
Still only 22 years of age. Inside the Hawks 50 once again. Franklin pushed out Johnson, and then backed himself and got caught with the ball. Birchall can't kick it. Now Clark is it to Barlow, kicks towards Main. Burgoyne, good vision, used it well and found Guerra. The big wind up from Brent Guerra. Mzungu from the side. Here's Lewis, ducked the head. Grover looking for the boundary line and finds it. So the Hawks by 57 points. There's the sad scene for Reece Palmer.
So boundary throw in Silvani. Lewis, Franklin knocks it back into the path of Suckling, deep in the pocket. Not that time, so another behind to Hawthorn.
Just wonder what this game will take, how much it'll take out of the Hawks. Tough conditions like this. They go to Tasmania next week to play North Melbourne.
There's Guerra again. Puts Hawthorn back inside 50. Long ball out on the full.
Well, the worry for the Dockers, Matty, is that they had the derby last week. Big build-up, physical game. We saw that West Coast really struggled in the second half against the Bulldogs. You know, it might even get worse.
They've got St Kilda next Friday night. There's a little soccer off the ground by Bruce Stearns and a point. That's his third behind for the quarter. They've got to go down to Melbourne Etihad Stadium next Friday night to take on the Saints. Fremantle. Saints in good touch after an ordinary start to the year.
So Pearce in the back pocket. Towards the wing now. McPhee with the sit, got up, couldn't hold on. Fife. Off to Ballantyne, but couldn't control it. Cheney. Sewell, been good again. Towards Smith. Now, leg, says the umpire. So Smith kicks quickly towards Franklin. Going back also, Silvani does well again. Geez, been good, Silvani. Ibbotson, Grover, Mzungu. Back to Ibbotson, Mzungu. Oh, he coughs it up. Sewell, loose player. Top of the goal square, Franklin. Now a chance for Bruce. Franklin, been goalless so far tonight. And again, he's offline. So peppering the goals, Hawthorn, but just the two, both to David Hale in this quarter.
Three behinds also this quarter to Franklin. Mzungu kicks it in, marked by Robertson. He goes long down the line, target is Fife, but again Hawthorn get numbers at the contest. Well done, Osborne.
And that's what they've done so well, Quarters. Since Stratton and Gillum have gone down, the midfield has really protected their back line. Hardly seen Gibson or Tom Murphy in a one-on-one contest all night.
Hayden Ballantyne in picture, just the 7 disposals. These are conditions that should suit the little fella.
Here he is, the bottom of that pack.
Yeah, and you know, he's got to be more than just a forward pocket specialist, and he's been given plenty of opportunity in the midfield tonight. And just the 7 touches is disappointing.
And the other one, Wolsey, is Stephen Hill. They've been playing him on a half-back flank. He's just had the 8 disposals tonight. Needs to work himself in on a tough night where it's not that nice conditions. There is Stephen Hill. He's been a great player early in his career, but this is a real test for him in a night where you've got to win your own football.
And I think Mark Harvey, his coach, has been really good for him and to him this year. He's given Hill a chance to play off halfback. He knows that the tags have worried him, so he said, we'll give you a chance to play halfback and use your run, but you've also got to be able to win your own ball in tough conditions.
Kicked off the ground by Birchall. Franklin one out again with Silvani. Silvani the front posse. Franklin chases him down. We'll have a throw in the forward pocket. Lance Franklin has played 33 games where he's kicked at least 1 goal, 33 in a row. Last time he was held goalless was back in round 3 of last season. So 33 consecutive games where he's scored at least 1 goal. At the moment, Silvani doing the job. Just 3 behinds to Buddy tonight. Hawks by 10 goals. Biggest margin in the game so far. Ellis runs onto the ball. Can't quite get boot to ball. Got one high. And Ellis will go back and have a shot from goal from only 25 metres out. There's no doubt about that.
That's really crude.
Yeah,
and
in fact, yeah, it was more than.
And I reckon it's
crude.
deliberate, and I reckon he'll have a case to answer. Dylan Robertson, that is unnecessary.
Ellis kicks the goal.
We spoke earlier of Mzungu and his effort giving away a sloppy free kick. Well, that was even worse from Robertson. And well done, Xavier Ellis, putting his head over the football. He hit back last week, lost his position in the team a number of weeks ago, and he's had another solid game tonight.
Stephen Hill, and one of a number of Dockers that have really struggled to find the football tonight.
Well, Hill, Ballantyne, Duffield disappointing. Look, going into the game, you look at the stats of the Dockers team, and Fife and Pavlich are 1-2 for just about everything. They need more support.
Anthony Well, tackled by Suckling. Didn't have much of an opportunity there. A boundary thrown between half forward and wing for the Dockers.
And I felt for Jack Anthony tonight. Only 3 inside 50s once again this quarter. 14-3 for the match. I'd give him a go in defence.
Yeah, I would too.
Give him a chance to get his hands on the football.
Has played a bit in defence for the Magpies.
Fife. Duffield, well tackled. Crowley trying to release the ball, but the tackle holding it in, so another bounce.
Since quarter time, boys, the inside 50s 35-7.
Well, that's why Jack Anthony, you'd say it's hard to get a kick when it doesn't come down here.
So it's a Fremantle kick going back to Fife. And this will be a rare inside 50 entry as he kicks towards the pocket. Hill up through his hands. Murphy just slides to the line. And a boundary throw in deep in the pocket. Can they try and keep the ball in, Matty? This is the challenge for them. Set up at the structure, or set their structures right at this boundary throw in. Keep it in. Perhaps give them an opportunity. Puopolo tackled immediately and a bounce just 20 metres from the Dockers' goal.
And it is at one area this year they have been strong, ranked 3rd in the competition going into this game, but it just hasn't been in there to test that out tonight.
Fife. Oh, gee, was lucky Saul there. Now kick straight up in the air. Fife couldn't get boot to ball. Big pack of players. Now the ball comes towards Ibbotson. Tried to get it to Broughton. Handball not good. Shields did brilliantly to push him off the ball. Coming in hard, Johnson. Osborne, quick hands, okay to Birchall, and they're out of trouble. Grover did well to paddle it back. Robertson, but again, Hawthorn too strong. Whitecross. Now, no one forward of the play here from Bruce, and also Lower. And Bruce keep it in. Lower does well, sliding in. And he's earned a free kick.
Yeah,
now it's coming back to Duffield.
Yeah, and Michael Osborne was involved in something off the ball there. The non-officiating umpire picked it up.
He can be unsociable at times, Rob.
Well, he can, but it's his game, 150. And I reckon he's made the best of his talents. I remember him as a 14, 15-year-old playing for Labrador on the Gold Coast, and he was tough and hard then.
Great story. He was delisted by the Hawks in 2002, but he fought his way back onto the list and played now 150 games. Hawks work it back to the wing. Ibbotson couldn't take it. There's Mazungu. Robertson, not his best effort. And that's a free kick for out on the full going the Dockers' way. So watch your rider's screen here. Throughout the arm, and that was the reason for the free kick. Crowley went without it in the end. Mitchell had an outstanding night. Perfect conditions for him. He's now had 18 disposals and 7 clearances, plus you can chuck in 8 tackles. And the ball's still in play. Did well, Fife. Off to Ballantyne. Centering kick over the head of Main. McPhee will get there first. Lost his feet. Cheney didn't.
No good going to ground like that, McPhee. You're out of the contest.
Cheney has kept it in play, and now we'll have a throw in.
There's absolutely nothing to be gained from that. Going to ground.
Nick Lower right shoulder, boys, also struggling.
Thanks, Tim, as the rain starts to increase again. And Hawthorn were able to get it towards the wing, fisted away by Ibbotson, front and centre. Franklin went without it. Ibbotson, Clark. Oh, handball too fierce for Lowe. It gives Franklin an opportunity. Got nowhere to go. Well done, Silvani. Hill, nice little paddle to the advantage of Broughton, who kicks to half forward. Big Bailey just put a fist in there. Main trying to get it out to Pearce. He overruns it. And Ellis off to Sewell. Leading possession winner on the ground. He kicks towards half forward. Ibbotson almost. Hale pinned. Now, what's the umpire going to do here? He's going to ball it up at half forward for Hawthorn.
Played a good game, David Hale, considering conditions not suited for the big man. And hasn't had a heap of the footy, but to kick 3 goals in these conditions and a low-scoring game, he's played a big game because he didn't play a great one against Melbourne last week.
10 disposals, 5 contested possessions for David Hale tonight. Ellis again in the pack. Fed it out. Hill getting there as Whitecross, who threw his body at the ball. Took Hill's feet from underneath him. $50 out from the Hawks goal. In fact, make it about 45. Clark the tap for Fremantle. Shark by Hill. Gave it straight up to Sewell, who need the ball. Back to Hill, who pumps it long. There's no one home for Freo. Gibson will get there first. Nice shepherd off the ball by Burgoyne. Allows Gibson to pick it up comfortably and kick back to the wing where he finds Suckling.
Mark Harvey on the boundary line as we tick inside the final minute in this third quarter. They'll barrel it towards half forward, but in the way, Silvani.
Would he be their best player?
I think so. He's done a great job on Franklin. Kick to Broughton. Broughton's been arguably in their top 3 as well, with the way he's got in and under, at least given a contest, Matty.
Yeah, spot on, Chris. So of his 22 disposals, he's had 17 contested, Greg Broughton, so he's worked really hard. But the amount of ball that Hawthorn have had inside 50, so that 50 inside 50s now for Hawthorn, and Buddy yet to kick a goal, and the amount of one-on-one Silvani's won, he really set himself for this challenge tonight.
Big leap from Anthony. Couldn't hold on, unfortunately. Clark directs it into the path of Crowley, but Mitchell's desperation able to get him to the ball first, and another bounce.
Is Fife. Got it to Grover. Good smother by Mitchell. So the margin is 11 goals in Hawthorn's favour, which is, considering these conditions, a remarkable achievement. Oops. Bailey. Oh, slipped over. Hope he hasn't done an injury there. Gets up a bit gingerly, Max Bailey limping. And every time he gets up limping, you have your heart in your mouth, given the fact he's had 3 knee recos.
Poor old Jack Anthony, looking for his second disposal of the match, and the siren robbed him, Rob.
Well, he's gone 90 minutes without a touch, and the ball comes to him and the siren beats him. That's the sort of night that the Dockers are having. Just a 1-point quarter to Fremantle.